Hey everyone, and welcome back to lohCasa. On this episode of Deals of the Week, I'm going to be going over a good amount of updates, including a sub 2 property, which I might actually jump into first. And I'm just going to kind of skim through it because with every subject to property that we actually get under contract, I usually do an entire video about it just so that way you guys can see a full in-depth look, since obviously purchasing, it's a little bit of a bigger deal than if you're just going to lease something for maybe 12 months to 24 months, but purchase, that's a long-term thing. I'll just go ahead and get into it. Let me just start by saying if you're only seeing a fraction of the number of properties that I'm showing you here when you log into your profile, it's probably because you're a standard user. So we have different membership tiers, exclusive and premium. These are paid memberships, but they allow you access to every single property that we approve and add to our inventory in real time. It also includes acquisition fee discounts, so anywhere from 10 to 50% off, and a few other different perks depending on your tier. So if you guys have questions about that, if you'd like to learn more, you can see information wherever you're watching this video. And of course, we'd be happy to answer any questions. So jumping into the first one, again, I'm just going to skim through this, okay? This is a property in Homestead, Florida. This is actually in Miami-Dade County. So if you want to be in the hot market of South Florida, if you want to own in South Florida, this is a property that you can do it with. Now, the rent, it says rent, but really this is principal, interest, tax, and insurance. So this is the monthly amount that you'd be paying. Now, again, this is a subject to opportunity. So if you aren't familiar with subject to, I recommend you do your research. It's basically the ability to purchase a home subject to the existing terms of the mortgage. Go through title, go through the standard process. However, you don't have to go through getting approved for a loan or any of the traditional methods. You would just be able to take over their existing payments. So this is the PITI, like I said, and then we're going to go over the deposit, which is just the earnest money deposit. But this is basically a corner unit. It's an exclusive HOA community called Waterstone. It actually has the lake right behind it, so it has lake views, which you probably saw from the photos. 24-hour security, different amenities because of the fact that it is in an HOA or, gated community. It has swimming pool, gym. The HOA amount is about $225 per month, but it's turnkey. It doesn't really require any rehab. It was built in 2005, so fairly new. And it's definitely ideal for either short-term rental investors or homeowners, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, just going into the interest rate, 5.75 is lower than the market right now. If you're looking for something where you can, number one, be in South Florida, get a lower interest rate than the market, not even have to qualify for the loan, and be able to pick it up right away for a decently low entry cost, then this is probably the deal to do it. So the remaining loan balance is $377,000. You'd be paying that over time, obviously, through the monthly PITI. Interest rate 5.75, like I said. $44,000 to get in the door. Mostly that is just cash to the seller along with commissions. The maturity date isn't for another almost 30 years. You've got quite a while where you can hold it for a long period of time, maybe sell it later in the future after 10 plus years. You could even refinance it if interest rates get below that 5.75. But this is just including some information about the property, and it shows comps. And the reason why I said it's good for someone that wants to be a homeowner and actually live in it is because the only way you're really going to make money on this deal is through a short-term rental. And the projections for this, based on in-depth comps that we did in the area, it's projected to bring in about $67,000 a year. So you can look into more information here. You guys can run the numbers and kind of see all that's included. But if you have questions about this, feel free to reach out. The property ID for this one is Homestead 991. Now, last week in our Deals of the Week, I had shown you guys a property in Oxnard, California, where the rent was about $5,900, and that's probably still what you're going to see right here. And it's a little bit high compared to what the projections are. They were looking for a long-term tenant, but they were running it as a short-term rental, the owners were. And they seem to be doing really well with it. They have a management company in place. However, they are looking to just kind of offload it and have a long-term tenant. If you were to get connected to them, you'd be able to see those financials. And I had talked about how they could probably be flexible with this. Well, upon further discussion, we've confirmed that they actually can be flexible with this, and we could probably get them down. They said that they'd be open to around $5,000 per month, maybe even less. If somebody was to come in, just pay that flat rent, and then they pay the utilities, they pay for the hot tub maintenance, things like that. And before, I don't think we knew that there was a hot tub, so I just recently added this as a feature. After getting off the phone with them and discussing further, they do have a hot tub. It's in a phenomenal location. We don't even have that information in here, which is crazy. So I'm going to have to add that. but it's literally a walk to the beach. I mean, it really doesn't get better than this area. So this is the property. It's a 2-bed, 2-bath, already fully furnished, ready to go. And again, if you guys were to pick it up, you'd be paying a flat rate, probably close to $5,000, maybe a little bit less. We could probably get them to $4,800. But what's most important to them is talking to the potential operator. They want to see and get to know who's going to be renting from them and make sure it's a good fit for everyone. They want to work out those additional terms in regards to like wear and tear maintenance, hot tub maintenance, things like that. And the reason why this says utilities included is because when it was at the $5,900 rate, they were going to include up to $300 in utilities. But obviously, if you were to get it for a lot lower than that, you wouldn't be getting those utilities included. So if we were to drop this down, let's just say $5,000. And if we were to account for a 15% buffer, you're looking at about $1,600 in monthly profit. Now, let's say we can get them down to $4,800. You're looking at over $1,800 in monthly profit. So not too bad, phenomenal location. And like I said, it's already permitted. So if you want to be in a beautiful area of California, please feel free to reach out. The property ID for this one is Oxnard124. Now going into another property that just recently had a price drop is in Tennessee, specifically in Memphis. So this is actually a property where not only is it available to rent and you can arbitrage it, but they also are open to seller finance, which is great. So whenever we get those owners that are open to potentially selling their property in the future, if everything goes well on your guys' end, and it seems like this is going to be a good investment for you, you can always go ahead and exercise that option. Originally, they had it listed with us for $2,600. Mind you, this is a 5-bedroom in Memphis, Tennessee. So large home, comes unfurnished. Projections already look great, even at $2,600 per month, but they just decreased the rent to $2,155. So Memphis, Tennessee, rent is only $2,155. Yearly projections are over $60,000. This is the property. I believe they did some renovations to it as well. You don't even have to do a security deposit. They're waiving the security deposit on top of that. Has an upstairs bonus room. It's in a cul-de-sac, corner lot. Brand new carpet, newly fenced backyard. So a lot of great factors there. Then it has a garage and a driveway for parking. They're open to a longer than 12-month lease. Permit is going to be needed, but it has air conditioning, no HOA, washer and dryer included. And then lo and behold, they are open to a partnership. So basically what that means is there could potentially be like a revenue share model. So if you guys are interested about that, definitely feel free to let us know. But at this new rate, you're literally looking at almost $3,000 in monthly profit. So if this is a deal that's of interest to you, please feel free to reach out. The property ID for this one is Memphis 10162. Alrighty, moving on. We have another one. And again, we need to update some of these in our system, but these are just recently conversations that we had with owners and landlords that are open to negotiating some prices on their properties. And it doesn't take us just updating you through our deals of the week in order for you to see that things have changed. You can always reach out about a property that you like, that you're interested in. Let us know the price that you're looking to get it for if the current number doesn't work, and we'll go and we'll negotiate on your behalf to see if we can make something happen. So never be afraid if you see a property and it seems like it's out of your budget. Always feel free to reach out to us, let us know, and we'd be more than happy to assist you in that negotiation. So this one is in Quincy, Washington. This is actually, I believe, right next to the Gorge, which is where they have a lot of different concerts and events in the city of Quincy. And then on top of that, I believe it's also on a winery, or it's right next to a winery, which is really cool. Now, again, this is a property where the rent and the numbers actually look pretty good. They look favorable. However, we spoke to them, and it looks like they'd actually be open to lowering this around the range of like $3,700. So again, they're dropping it by almost $400. This is a fully furnished property. It comes with a hot tub, as you can see. Nice, modern, styled well. I mean, just a beautiful property. Now, this one is a 2-2. It does have an HOA, but they allow short-term rentals. It's available next month, so September 1st, literally a month from today. Deposit is the same as rent. So if the rent is $3,700, the deposit's going to be $3,700. Parking is a driveway, so it's included. Open to longer than 12-month lease. They're fine with a 60-day exit clause. You don't even need a permit because it already has one. It has air conditioning, the hot tub, outdoor care included, washer and dryer included. And on top of that, Wi-Fi is included. I mean, guys, this is just a great opportunity. So even at the old rate of $4,100, you're looking at almost $2,000 in monthly profit. But if we were to lower it to $3,700, you're hitting that $2,000 mark. in monthly profits. So again, guys, this is a great opportunity. Quincy 220, if you have questions about it or if you'd like to move forward, let us know. And then going into this Long Beach deal. So this is actually a property that I brought up on last week's Deals of the Week as well. We just didn't have it on our platform yet. But Long Beach is great because Long Beach is overall a very consistent market. This is a property that when they originally came to us, I believe that the rent that they were wanting was $8,700. And although Long Beach and California in general can be a more expensive market, we had talked to them a little bit more, and we found out that they are open to co-hosting in a shared revenue model, but they also are fine with arbitrage, and they actually were flexible with their rate. So if we go and we check out this newly added Long Beach deal, and as you can already see, has a pool, very nice, luxury. The yearly projections look great, and I'll even tell you about more yearly projections that we found, but they're willing to do arbitrage for around $7,000 a month in rent. But keep in mind, whoever picks this up, whether you do arbitrage or whether you do co-hosting and shared revenue, it does come unfurnished. So whoever picks it up, again, whether you do arbitrage and you're paying $7,000 flat per month, or if you do co-hosting and you're just doing a split revenue model, you are going to have to furnish it. Whoever picks up this property, whoever wants to run this property is going to be responsible for investing into the furnishings. They are open to co-hosting, yes. They are open to shared revenue, but they want someone who has skin in the game, especially for a property like this. So they said they will need whoever picks it up to invest into the furnishings. So just looking at the property, I mean, it's gorgeous. Just a beautiful property. 4 bedrooms, 4 full bathrooms. Just beautiful. And it has some charm to it too. As you can see, some of the colored tile and things like that. I mean, this would just be a great opportunity. And you could probably see right there, it has a jacuzzi as well. Okay. So 126 in yearly projections. It comes with a 100-foot driveway, 38-foot pool, and it's on a 20,000 square foot lot. The home has solar panels, so that'll help you with electricity savings. It also has an additional den that has a large closet, so it could technically be considered a 5th bedroom. So you could always think about that when it comes to increasing your prices and getting more revenue throughout the year. And then we ran in-depth comps, and the projected revenue is actually $132,000 based on a realistic analysis of other 4-bedroom pool homes in the area that have been listed for almost a year or longer with multiple reviews. So we literally did in-depth comps because we wanted to see, okay, if somebody picked this up as an arbitrage, how much can they actually realistically make? If somebody picks us up as a co-host and they charge a standard 20%, how much can they make then? So that is what we found when we actually ran the in-depth comps. And we also found out that the owner would consider a co-hosting arrangement under the following circumstances. So number one, like I said, the operator would need to invest into the furnishing and design. They'd be willing to work out a larger split, so maybe 30-70, 50-50. You guys would have to work that out, but they would be willing to work out a larger split than the average in order for the co-host to recoup their investment. And then after it's recouped, they would likely transition to a standard split, such as 80-20. Number two, the operator has to have experience in co-hosting or running other properties and can provide references. So if you're somebody that has co-hosted before, or if you're somebody that's rented and done arbitrage before, that's going to be important to them. And then lastly, the operator understands that nothing's guaranteed percentage-wise or agreement-wise until they speak with the owner or rep and attempt to work out official terms. Again, nothing is set in stone. There are no official terms with the co-hosting agreement. They are open to it. They're excited about it. They're interested in hearing more, and they want it to be the right person. So if you feel like these 3 things can apply to you and this works for you, then let us know. It's Long Beach 4031, and we can go ahead and get you in contact. It's literally available now, and overall it's in a great location. It's only about 4 miles from downtown, 8 miles from Belmont Shore, and then I see that it's close to Long Beach Airport. Let me actually just see how far it is from Long Beach Airport. Okay, so to Long Beach Airport, it's about 4 miles as well. So probably 10 minutes or so. So that's one of the great things. Overall, it's central. It's not too far from anything. The deposit, if you were to run it as an arbitrage, is going to be the same as first month's rent. And then it has a garage and a driveway. They're open to longer than 12 months. They're fine with a 60-day exit clause. Air conditioning, hot tub, no HOA. Swimming pool, over $100,000 in projections. They're open to a partnership, and washer and dryer is included. So let's see how much you could potentially make with it as a short-term rental. If you were to run it at $7,000 per month with a 15% buffer, you're looking at $2,500 a monthly profit, just about. Now, if you were to put in that $132,000 that we actually found, you're looking at closer to $3,000 in monthly profit. Now, let's imagine you actually ran it as a co-hosting agreement and you did not have a monthly rent that you had to pay. You were making 20% on this $132,000. You would be making about $26,000 a year. Divided by 12 months, you'd be making about $2,200 in income if you were to run this as a co-hosting agreement. So a couple $1,000s without any technical requirements in regards to how much you actually have to make the property, or you don't have to worry really about any of the expenses. The owner would cover that. So depending on which one you guys are most interested in, definitely let us know. It really depends on how you operate, depends on what you want, depends on what you can do. Not everybody can do a $7,000 a month rent or is willing to do a $7,000 a month rent. However, no matter what you choose, you will be responsible for the furnishings. That's something that they think is important for the operator to have skin in the game and be willing to invest into a property that they believe in. So those are the properties of the week, guys. If you have any questions about any of them, whether that be the newest Homestead, Florida Subject 2 deal, the Memphis deal, the Oxnard deal, the Quincy deal, or the Long Beach deal, we will be here to assist you every step of the way. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.